Hey everyone, it's Desiree, and I am here. I was cleaning out an area, excuse me, and I just came across some pieces, and I'm like, okay, what can I do with these? Because I personally cannot throw anything out. It's kind of a horrible addiction, I think, but it is definitely the truth. So I was thinking, okay, maybe I could do this. And I have tons of these tags. Now you can see that I had done some ink smushing on the other side of these tags as I'm sitting here, doing the trims here. But I just didn't like the color schemes. I should really just stop and always stick with my broken china, cracked pistachio, and fossilized amber that Tim Holtz has just gotten me used to. So that's all right. We can always, we can change things up. Just because these don't look good, certainly does not mean that we cannot do anything with them. So what I'm doing, or what I did do, again, coming in late to the game, but I figured why not? Let's just turn the phone on and we can walk you through that. So you can use cardstock, you can use, those pattern paper sheets that you just don't know what to do with because you didn't put them in a project, or, maybe the design's really bad. Let's be honest. We always have a few of those papers that can be bad. You get so many pieces of paper, you're bound to not like one of them. I'm just saying. And it's okay, That stuff does absolutely happen. Now, what I'm doing right now is literally just trimming up these tags. I do want to make sure that I have the edge of the tag identified, especially up at the top. I just want a clear definition. So that's what I'm doing right now. So you can see I started doing something with these tags. If you've seen any of my videos before, I love to tear paper. And this paper here that I placed on the tags, this is actually a paper bag. Paper bag paper. So I actually cut up the paper bag and then I crumble it and then I glue it down onto the tags. Now I kept this side open because I thought, okay, you know what, we could still journal on that side and everything else. But I am going to cover it. It is, I just don't like the colors. Again, I need to stick with the colors that I normally do like when it comes to my backgrounds. Okay, so what I also found were digital copies that I had printed down a while ago. Now, these here are from Tracy Loves Junk Journals, one of her digital copies, and I'll have it linked down below in the video description. But I just love these. These are perfect for tags. I'm going to just, cut around them. I found some I have from my quilting days. I used to love, and if any of you quilt out there, I used to love the 2x2 squares that you could get pre-cut, or the 5-inch squares you could get pre-cut, the jelly rolls, the jelly cake, all of those pre-cuts, because that's what I mainly used when it came to the smaller projects that I created. So I have tons of these, so I figured I could pull these in. These are also some digital downloads from Tracy Loves Junk Journals, and again, I'll make sure that they are listed below, and I just put them on craft cardstock. That's one of my main things, and I've inked around. So I've already framed these. So again, I just started pulling things out, and then I'm going to forget what I was doing here. No, I remember now. Hold on. So I want to grab, here we go. Okay. So I just wanted to grab the smaller tags. I actually use these in other projects, actually, when I still make the fabric stuff. So what could we possibly get? Well, from the smaller tags, I'm just making something that looks like this. So you can see I take this image and it fits perfectly nested down in there. I'm inking around, and then I'm taking a piece of the material and I'm just folding it in half, and I'm gluing that down, and then I'm just sewing around the top of our piece. So that is pretty much what I am doing. And again, this one's just a little bit different. I think these are going to be a little shorter. At least I think. Maybe? No? Maybe not. So this is what this is, and then just a piece of sari silk, and then I sew around it. So you're able to journal down here on the back of the tag. So we're just going to make some of those. We'll see how long this goes. I don't want the video to be long, but of course, as always, there will be gabbiness. There will be me rambling, but hopefully I will be able to stay focused on what I'm making here. So, with that said, so I'm going to do the same thing. I just want a very thin border to sit around these. I do like them to have that border. I am going to use my glue stick to put these on. And then I will cut around them to get them. That's how I will frame them. I am not one to measure. Matter of fact, I hate measuring. I'll be very honest with you. It's just not my cup of tea. And plus, it takes time. I think that's the real reason. Now, let's be honest. It just takes a lot of times. Now, there's certain things that I do that I will make sure that I do measure, because it has to have that. But there's, a lot of things that, I don't. And again, just to be honest, it's because I'm lazy. Or I could absolutely say it makes it look more organic. I don't know if y'all would believe that, but, hey, let's go with it. I love the way that these tags look, or images. Now I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm just going to cut right along the edge, leaving a very thin border. And I'm going to do that to one side. And again, if it's a little crooked or a little bit off, I am totally okay with that. But I do just want it to be very thin, so that if I did forget to ink around any of the images that I'm gluing down, that's okay. I'll be able to pick them up. And that's what these images are going to look like. I know and now I'll come down the other side on this one to get the other side. I know for these tall ones, there's this area here. So I think I'm just going to do something a little bit different. Again, I'm just kind of winging it on these. I really do want to use up things that I have laying around. And I'm sorry, I've got this finger sticking out at you. Yeah, bad cut. Huge. Just huge. Okay, so that's what those look like there. Now I'm just going to grab Distress ink so I can go around these. Now, I think what I might do and you get to hear all of that wonderful noise. So if I take just one of these, I'm going to ink around. Now, some of these I forgot to ink around before I glued them down. All right, so that just toned that down just a little bit. Now I'm wondering what it would look like because again, it's Distress ink. I'm wondering what that would look like because it's going to move the ink. Oh yeah, I like that. I don't know, can you see that? It's very light, but I mean, it just adds just a little bit. Again, we can have fun with the Distress inks. Sometimes, even though I don't have much in the vintage stock, you know, of papers and everything else, I love making things look distressed, and pulling out, you know, all of those errors or anything like that. I want to get them more on the side, and you can be specific, like you can see. So I've just opened that up just a little bit. I'm going to hit it with my heat gun here, since I'm going to be gluing something on that. I do want that to be dry. All right, so now when I put this over here, I'll be able to see some of that distress. But before I put that on there, I do want to take one of these squares, all right, now, and I want to put that in there. So now I'm able to cover that top part. So I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac to glue that down. And I'm just going to do it in the center here. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew around these. Okay. Okay, so that's that. And I think that would look really cool there. Okay, so let's do this one. Let's get another one. I think I really like that. We'll see if we can get 3 of these done and 3 of the small ones done. Okay. And I'll put that down. And I'm sorry if you hear that noise out there. My husband is having somebody look. He has an old ranchero that his dad had given him. I have no idea of the year, but it's not something that he's going to be working on. So somebody's actually interested in it. So, just in case you hear all of that awesomeness, that's what it is. So I'm gonna get these, I'll probably turn into like a little production stand here now. So I'm gonna put these down here. And again, I'm just looking to get these adhered and then I'm going to sew around these. Okay, so I'm going to let these dry, and then I'm going to get, let's work on a couple other, like I love this one with the different design that we've got going on there. So yeah, we're going to do that, and I think I'm even, I think I'm going to add a little bit more texture, because these tags have a shiny top to them, and I don't like that to show, but that's okay, because you could just keep adding different textures and just having fun with it. Make sure this is inked. Now I can see, now I've got that difference going on there. I'm using my Fabri-Tac because it's just close to me. And I'm just going to put that right there. I'm actually going to make it even because, wow, could not have made that any better. So now you've got those, 3 different looks. And then once this is dry, I will trim off that, that corner. Now, what I still want to do, I'm going to ink. Trim. I want to come in with my brush. And again, this is just a soft makeup brush. You could probably find these at the dollar store. I'm just going to come in with my sprayer. Have fun. Let that sit for a little bit. You can see the ink's pulling up a little bit. Now I'm just going to wipe it away. And then I'll hit it with my heat tool again. And now next one. I just want one more, and I want just something that looks different with the tears. So yeah, so now this one I forgot to, gonna come across, and let's see what that does. I'll come in with my brush again. Yeah, same thing there. See how the ink doesn't go onto that? So I just need another piece that's just small. And that's okay, because I can just set that right there. Awesome. And then I will set that right there. And we'll snip. It would really be awesome if my husband sold this. Because then I'll have my driveway back. Just add a little bit there, and then we'll add some sprays. We'll wipe away. And then the heat tool. So what's great is with your heat tool, you don't need to run it that long onto your tags, because it's not like you're doing like a mixed media piece where you're soaking the piece you know, saturating it with the water. All right, so now what I'm going to do is, these are drying, and I'm going to sew around these, and then when I come back, we'll adhere these three onto these tags. So we'll be right back. Okay, so we are back, and you can see I just put some stitching down here. I went around this, and then the same thing. So now I just want to get these glued down as well, and I will be using my Fabri-Tac glue for those, since there's fabric and I've got all kinds of different areas here. I just want to put a thin layer. I'm going to put this down in the corner. And I'm just using my brayer to get some pressure on there, so all of these sides will get stuck. So I'm sure I'm shaking my camera. All right, and then the next one. And then the final one. Now you could have made these little pockets. These I'm actually just looking for them to be decorative, but they would have been cute as little pockets as well. And then I think I'm just going to poke a hole, because we'll be covering these, so I'll actually wait to do that because I want to cover that up actually. So let me set those aside. So for one of these, going to ink around the edges, and I'm going to do that on both sides. And just until I get up to that shiny part, because I'm going to be covering that with the fabric. And let's see here, let's pick an image. I really like this one. And you can see that just nestles right in there. And again, depending upon how I cut them. And then I think I really like that one. And I'm going to put that right in there. So I want to get these glued. And since there's double layers, I do want to use my Fabri-Tac. It's a little stronger. My glue stick is strong, but really I just like using that for papers. And if I have a little bit of a border, I'm just going to try to make sure that it is centered. Got some wiggle room because of it being liquid. Now this one is just a little bit thicker, so it's almost the width of the tag that I'm using. So that's going to go right up to the edge. And we'll put that there. So now I want to choose a piece of fabric. I think I like that one for that one. And I think, oh, I like that one for that one. And again, I'm just going to fold these in half. Just get them creased. And then same thing, we'll put a little bit of glue there. And we'll put a little bit of glue here, just so that I can get them in there. And I will trim these. Same thing for this one. So I've covered up that shiny spot. And then what I'm going to do is the same thing. I'm just going to sew around them, and then on these I'm going to put a little bit of silk up on top. So I will be right back. Okay, and here they are. So these are fine. We can still journal inside here. We have our stitching going around. Again, you don't have to add your stitching. Just having them be like that is fine. Especially, of course, if you don't have access. So these are the 3 that we made looking like this. Again, just using scraps up in our stash, things that I found as I was cleaning. And then we have these. So the only thing that I really want to do with these is just grab some, you know, that 12-inch paper that I'm just not using, or I have extra of. And sometimes I get absolutely, and I love this, sometimes I just get carried away and add paper to this. So let me put a mark on that. And I'm going to glue this one on here. And again, I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac. And I think, yes, just wanted to make sure if there was writing, I was going the right way. All right, so we're just going to glue this down. So we'll actually cover the stitches. The stitches, it'll have a little bit of texture from it. We'll put that down. And again, I'm just going to trim around it. And then we'll glue the other one down. Again, no rhyme or reason. We do not have to be perfect when we're putting these down. And again, just because these look like tags, you can make them be a pocket. And I think what I'm going to do, honestly, I do want that rose or that flower to be part of the back. So I'm just going to set that one down like that. And now I'm going to set this one here. These sheets here are also great. You know, just to collage on. You know, have them in the back. I know I was watching a video. I've been watching Gail. I think she's doing her May mixed media May stuff. And she's been doing some really, really cool things. And one of them, she took her 12 by 12 paper. Now this is paper. It's not a cardstock, but she's been taking her cardstock and just gonna run my roller over the stitches to make sure it's flat there. Get that out there. So she's been like doing all kinds of really neat mixed media pages and tags. Again, you know, just to use, you know, that stuff up so that you don't throw it away. There's always a use for it. You know, it could be a base for something. So nothing ever does have to go to waste. And now I'm just going to cut along these edges. I'm going to use the tag as my guide. I do want to move the stitches though, because I do like those stitches hanging off. And now I'm just going to go up this. And I'm going to angle my scissors just a little bit because I don't want to cut the fabric. So that's our first one, and then that's our backing, and it's still light enough if somebody used a black marker or anything like that, if I do keep it to be a tag. You know, it all depends on what people use. I do like lots of areas for the recipient, or if it's a gift, the same thing, a recipient, to have lots of places where they can write, whether it's on a tag or you know, on a journaling card or a tuck or anything like that. But I do so enjoy making the ephemera. Oh, that's cool. Then that's a lot lighter. So this would definitely be a tag that I would hold because that's so pale. Definitely could write on that. This is a little bit dark, so I may make this one like a pocket or like a side pocket on a page, even though it looks like a tag. I mean, why not? And now I'm just going to trim down this one. Come up the edge. And then there's that beautiful flower. So with this one, same thing. It could definitely be a spot to journal because they can journal down here and still have all of this up here too. And I also like to leave room for whoever's receiving my journals, if they want to decorate or anything like that. What I've started doing going forward whenever I ship out a junk journal is I give some extra papers in different shapes, like a tag, or, you know, just plain, nothing embellished like this, or pieces, you know, small pieces like this of material as a little tiny gift along with it, so that they can do their own decorating. You know, maybe they want something stapled in there, or you know, maybe they want to add some trinkets and stuff like that. So they do have that ability to do that. So I'm just going to come in, I'm going to punch my holes, and then as always I like to add my ring protectors, or my hole protectors, I guess you could say, just to add a little bit more when I punch my holes. And I do like to do that to both sides. For me, it seems, or it makes it just a little bit complete. And then, you know, whatever these tags go into whatever journal or whatever, then I'll decide, okay, do I want to put a piece of sari silk in there? Because usually what I do, you know, I'll either fold it over, or I will snip this. And then I tear it. And just to put a knot. And I like to tie the knot to the front, because then you have your pieces that will hang down off of it. Or if you shift it to the top, you know, your bow will look different. So it all depends on where you put it. And again, it can be loose. So just the different ways. And I'll pull those extra strings off. And there you go. Just some scraps pulled together, some digital downloads that, you know, had extra of. I only used a few. You know, this is what you're able, you know, just something to create. So I do hope you enjoyed it. I hope you'll pull out your scraps as well, things that you've gathered up, or whether it's the junk mail that you're absolutely using, or anything like that. You know, grab it, place it down onto some cardstock or some copy paper, and just have fun with your different layers and the different elements that you can add to each of your pieces. So I hope everyone is enjoying their day. Please continue to stay safe and healthy as we continue to go through our challenge. But by all means, continue to smile. And by all means, what's most important for me, always be creative. Till next time, guys.